Hello, my name is Tim Healy, and the purpose of this video is to explain to you what Quincy is. Quincy is a flexible investigative platform. The goal of the solution is to allow you to configure a review interface to allow your users to fully investigate a given matter. The primary focus of Quincy is legal review and forensics. However, it has applications far beyond those two primary fields. For now, however, we're just going to concentrate again on legal review and forensics. Quincy can best be thought of as just another way into the Access Data unified database. So if you look at the figure in front of you, you can see FTK processes data into the unified database, as does summation. Quincy is just a new way to look at the data in that database. Quincy also provides the capability to process into the database. You can use Quincy as a standalone system, but you can also utilize it with either FTK or summation. Now, because these videos are always demo focused and not PowerPoint focused, I'm going to hop out of the PowerPoint and show you not only Quincy as a holistic tool, but the ways it can be quickly configured or the different versions of it that can be presented to a user in order to enable them to solve a particular investigative issue. So let me hop into Quincy, and you can see this is the full development license of Quincy. I have every widget exposed, and the point I generally make when I show this to people is that it is overwhelming. There's literally more on the screen right now than you would ever want to use, more than you could ever meaningfully absorb. It's just overwhelming. So the only reason to show this screen is to convey to you that Quincy is extremely powerful in terms of the functionality it can offer. However, for that functionality to be useful, it needs to be presented in a manner users can easily digest. And that gives rise to the configurability of Quincy. First, all of these widgets, all this functionality can be permissioned. So you can easily turn this interface into this one, where I have stripped out all of the clutter and I have left the user with just a few basic tools that I believe are relevant to their workflow. So if they want to open a case, they can open their grid, which will have all the metadata of the case. They can open their viewer, which will allow them to view documents in that case, and they can apply bookmarks or labels or do whatever, select a case, log into the case, do whatever it is they want. Let's just quickly open a case here. Actually, I think only the phone case has actual data in it. And I'll just show you how this works for a user that's only been exposed to this limited amount of functionality. So again, we opened those two primary widgets of the grid and the viewer. And now we've selected a case and we log in, and here is all the data in our case. And we can click on different documents if we want to see what's in those documents. This is an HTML page, and you can see it's come to the HTML tab, and you can interact and you can run searches and all that kind of stuff. So again, from this highly complex interface to this much more simplistic interface. However, this interface is still lacking in a number of ways, namely workflow. This is just an exposure of tools. If you are a legal reviewer, this still might not be the way you want to consume your data. So Quincy provides a whole bunch of different tools for configuring. I have utilized those tools to create various different review interfaces. This is one I think is particularly useful to a legal reviewer. Here again, we've sort of stripped out a bunch of the mumbo jumbo up top. We've got the grid embedded this time in a screen versus having it being exposed as a widget. There are a few additional capabilities up here if they want. If they want to look at thumbnails, if they want to look at a timeline, a map, social analyzer, that's all here. And then they have their viewer here on the left, and their viewer can look very much like what typical legal review viewers look like. And that is all your key related documents here on the left, whatever tagging you want to do here on the right. And again, you can apply labels, bookmarks, notes, or whatnot. And then you can hide the grid and just navigate here at this point by going next, 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 and you'll navigate through the documents that are previous, 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 however you want. So this is one configured, if you will, more for legal. But we also had, we said forensics was one of our primary use cases. So we have an interface that is more forensics friendly, much more complicated, if you will, than the legal review interface, and much more like FTK, where you have your grid down here below. You have your facets here to the left, which allow you to navigate the data in a way an investigator might want to navigate it. You know, by date, by extension, file category. These should all be familiar to a forensics user, an FTK user, because they're the same categories exposed in FTK. And then the various types of viewers and additional functionality here if they want to, if your user wants to utilize the social analyzer, for example. Or again, we're talking about FTK users. FTK users love their bookmarks. So you can always click here and expose your bookmarking panel. And you can adjust it to give you more space if that's not enough space, and you can see what's going on. In any event, that's the FTK view. So back to the full tool. This has been a very quick demo. I'm going to end it here, but the point is Quincy is a highly flexible interface that can be configured to almost any workflow. So get involved, play around with it, play around with the permissions, play around with the processing, with the panel option, and you'll see the configurability that's available. Thank you very much. Hopefully this was helpful.